Coca. Karakiki.
If you hear any traffic noise in the background, that's because I'm doing this episode from my ghost bed. ghostbed.com/drinkingbros.
Yeah, so we're this is an audio only episode because life finds a way to destroy you.
Yeah, life finds a way to fuck you.
So we're recording in separate places right now. And we have makeshift setups to pull it off, so we at least get that audio out to you.
Yep, got to do
Right.
anything and everything. You might hear my upstairs neighbor moving around or sometimes dropping what sounds like bowling balls on the floor. And
That's
also
cool.
every now and then you'll hear some people drag racing down the road that's right outside my window.
And maybe some dogs barking.
Possibly some dog
cuties.
barking. Some dogs barking. It's either going to be coming from outside or the dog barking is coming from inside the house.
That's hot.
And that would be Argus and Boa. They're sleeping in the living room right now. Joel, what's your favorite fairy tale?
My favorite fairy tale is, well, when I was a kid, it was Jack and the Beanstalk.
Iconoblast. We put the past on blast. Hit 'em with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
Welcome to the Iconoblast podcast. This is the show that takes a look behind the public facades of famous icons to show you why you can never take anything at face value. My name is Cooper, and sitting across from me roughly, I'd say, 8 to 10 miles north?
20 minutes away.
Northeast. Yeah, about 20 minutes northeast of me is Joel Benner.
Hello. So I assume we're talking about fairy tales since you're asking me about them.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about fairy tales today. Specifically, we're going to be talking about some of the dark stories that were originally intended by the authors that got whitewashed by Disney and their corporate cash grab.
Made them better,
I do like the Disney
or
movies, though.
Made them worse. Made them safe.
Made them safe, made them marketable, turned the punk rock into pop punk.
Wasn't there some fucking show? There was like there was a show. Maybe it was Saturday morning cartoons or something when I was a kid, and it was like, the only thing that comes to mind is Aesop's Fables, but I know that's not it. That was a fucking Christian show that told fables from the Bible with cartoons. But there was
your Aesop's Fables was on Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And what was that?
What was Rocky
Aesop's
and Bullwinkle?
Well, what was Aesop's Fables? I thought that was like, this is how good my memory is. What's Aesop's Fables then?
They were a bunch of allegories about life lessons, but they were
Who the fuck is
short
Aesop?
and animated. Like an old philosopher dude, like an old Greek philosopher.
Okay. Well, there was some fucking
On Rocky
fairy
and
tale
Bullwinkle.
show. I guess it doesn't matter.
What, a fairy tale show? Like, was it old school, like Japanese style animation with English dubbing?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't Japanese style. It was like, it had a vibe like all those shitty morning shows did for kids. Like, it was, there could have been live action. I don't think there was, though, but there was like an intro and it showed like clips from like 5 different fairy tales, and then it would start a new fairy tale.
Wait, was one of them like it was either an old man or an old woman with gray hair lifting their head up out of a stream, like they were swimming underneath the water and they lift their head up out of the water?
That's not catching any. It's not triggering any visual memories.
Is there a tiny
I'm actually
little,
drawing a blank.
Is there like a tiny little cherub thing, like wood nymph flying around and shit? I don't know. I think I might know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what.
Who knows? Who
what
gives
it
a
was called.
fuck? Who gives a fuck? I'm just happy that we're banging out a show, even if it's audio only. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm happy to be straight. I'm happy to turn gay if that happens. Everything is cool. Everything is good. Everything is great. I'm
was gonna
doing
say,
good.
that's
I'm
a
doing great. Everything's fine.
strange thing to be
Everything's
thankful
good.
for.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm a husband without a wife because she's far, far away. I'm just living out here in Austin in the fucking desert. It just became fucking winter. There's no fall. It's a shithole. There's homeless people attacking every day. The other day, the fucking ceiling broke out of the 7-Eleven while I was trying to get food, and then
the ceiling just
the
randomly
very
collapsed
next
in there.
day, or the next time I came in, there was somebody getting beat up inside, who was accused of being a rapist, and I watched him get beat up, and I'm so like used to it that like I watched for a little bit. I filmed part of it and then was like, yeah, same old shit. And while the guy was getting beat up in the fucking 7-Eleven, I rang my shit up. Even the person behind the register was like, yeah, whatever. Here, get your wine and your Oreo cookies and get the fuck out of here.
At least it's only two of them fighting this time.
And they still haven't found out that I steal every day. Every time I go in there, I steal a 5-hour energy drink.
Well, they
I haven't
probably know
stopped.
about it. It's just that's like the lowest crime on the totem pole. So they're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's
Like
Joel. All he does is he comes in and he steals a 12-hour or a 5-hour energy.
Yeah, I spend $10 a day there, so maybe they just letting me get away with it.
You got that repeat customer privilege.
Yeah.
So as we were saying earlier, we're going to be talking about fairy tales today, but specifically we're going to be talking about how fairy tales used to be cool and gritty before they got whitewashed.
Fuck yeah.
Would that really be whitewashed for
Is saying
Disney?
whitewash a drink situation?
Yeah,
Drink.
I'd say so.
Whitewash
As a
means just like mainstreamed.
Yeah, it got turned mainstream. Fairy tales sold out. As a child watching classic Disney films like Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, and Cinderella, I always assumed that the stories were written by Disney themselves. It wasn't until I later found an old book of fairy tales filled with very familiar titles that I realized these stories had been around for many, many years. And the original stories are way more badass than the Disney version. So here are a few of the most drastic differences between some Disney fairy tales and the versions the author actually wrote.
Ooh.
So the first one, speaking of whitewashed, is Snow White. We all know the Disney version.
Snow White's
of
a fairy tale?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
one of the brothers.
Wait,
were
the
in-
Little Mermaid's a fairy tale then.
Yeah. Little
we
Mermaid's
gonna
a
talk
fairy
about that
tale.
today?
Cinderella's a fairy tale. We will be talking about the Little Mermaid today. I
Oh,
saved that
fuck
for
yeah.
the very end because I know for a fact that somebody is going to be bringing up something that always comes up when mermaids or
I've already
dolphins
got
are
a half
mentioned.
chub.
I figured you would.
Dude, I hope the fucking true original Little Mermaid story's hot.
It might be the worst of all the ones that... It's the worst of all the ones that I put in this episode. It might not be the worst of all of them, though.
The worst, and what do you mean by the worst? Like the most fucked up?
Yeah, the most fucked up.
Hell yeah.
We all know the Disney version of the Snow White story, and the movie isn't actually all that far off from the original. The people responsible for turning the story into an animated film wisely chose to cut back on the gore and tone down the rapiness just a bit for the big screen. In the classic version, it's Snow White's real mother, not her stepmother, that is trying to kill her. Not only does her mother want to kill her, the crazy old hag also wants to eat Snow White's liver and lungs for dinner.
Whoa.
When she sends the huntsman out to kill Snow White, she specifically asks the huntsman to bring back the liver and lungs because she wants to cook that up and eat it for dinner that night.
Oh, that's awesome. That's badass. What's it in the Disney movies? Just like bring me the body? No, she just says kill her.
Yeah, she just wants Snow White dead, so the huntsman goes after her, and then the huntsman gets all horny for her and lets her go.
Mm.
And if I remember correctly, in pretty much all of these fairy tales, the princess is surprisingly young, like shockingly young.
Young and hot as fuck.
Well, that's by young. I'm talking like between the ages of 12 and 14.
Well, I'm also saying hot as fuck in regards to the age I was when I saw these.
Oh, okay, that's fair. And I think Ariel
Yeah,
was
so
16.
like they're made for kids.
That's
so
legal
like
in some
they
states,
want
I
to have
think.
a nice, young, attractive lead character for all these young boys who will, if you get them excited about women, tell them that women will fuck you. If you're rich, you'll work hard. If you join the army, you'll get so many chicks. So work hard and join the military, and you'll get to fuck the Little Mermaid.
That's so. The Little Mermaid was war propaganda.
Was it really?
The Little Mermaid was part of the war machine. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I thought you were saying that I was right. I was like, see, I got an intuition.
No, no, that's definitely not the case. The
No,
Little
but I think
Mermaid's way older. Like
Well,
the
in the
story's
big-
way older.
I'm just saying in general, like that's what those movies are for. Well, not maybe on purpose. I think they are on purpose, but you learn as a kid what the purpose of life is, and if you're trained since you're a kid that you need to be a badass, work hard, make a lot of money, fight in wars to get a princess, then you're gonna do that, right? It's motivational,
Yeah, I'd say so.
or also brainwashing, depending on how you look at it.
It's all subjective, I guess. After the huntsman fucks up his job and lets Snow White get away, the evil queen makes 3 attempts on her life instead of just the one seen in the movie.
So wait, Snow White is the magic mirror one? Mirror, mirror
Yeah.
on the wall, who's the sexiest of them all?
Yeah, magic mirror on the wall. Who does every man in the kingdom wanna fuck? I think is
So, okay,
what they
and
say
then
in the
that's-
Disney version.
And it's the apple, and that's the one with the wishing well, right? Snow White is always at the wishing well, or is that Cinderella?
No, I don't think so. It's not Cinderella either.
Sleeping Beauty. Well, which one sings at the wishing well? Is like, I'm wishing for the one
that
I
is
love
that
to
is Snow White. I
find
think.
me, to find me
He sang
today.
just like her.
Today. That one. That's Snow White, right?
Pretty sure that's Snow White.
Okay. We're on the same page. Continue, please.
So the evil queen makes 3 attempts on Snow White's life instead of just the one seen in the movie, but each time the 7 dwarves show up to save the day so they can keep going on and being simps for her. She just sits around singing and looking pretty all day, and the dwarves go out and work in the mines.
Mm-hmm.
Just take care of her, all because she's pretty. Another valuable lesson
And she cooks.
taught by fairy tales. Wait, does she cook for him?
Yeah, she makes some food when they get home.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, because remember in the Disney version, she like befriends the nature, and there's like a whole scene where she's like cleaning all their clothes and shit, and like doing dishes and fucking doing that woman shit.
I gotta go back and,
Well,
and
the men
watch
are
Snow
working
White
in
again.
the mines, which
So
makes
the
it
third-
fair.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. It's been years since I've seen Snow White.
Yeah, I'm down to
I was a
switch.
little kid the last
I'd be
time
down
that
to
I-
stay home and wash the clothes while the women work in the diamond mines.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's swap it up. That's what they should have done when they did the Me Too movement. Okay, this
That's
is off
equality.
topic, but yeah, we should have just switched instantly everything. That would have been awesome.
So the
anyone who
male-dominated
has
fields become female-dominated, and the female-dominated fields become male-dominated.
you just instantly swap it. Like anyone who is married or has a boyfriend or girlfriend at the time, whatever your jobs are, it just instantly swaps by order of the president, Donald Trump, at the time. And it just happens instantly, and then everyone does each other's jobs, and and then everybody would like
So-
understand the difference between them, and how they're both fucking hard.
Wait, but let's say you have a couple where the wife is a heart surgeon and the husband, like, they're a real progressive couple from like Seattle, and the wife is a heart surgeon and the husband is a stay-at-home mom.
The husband is a gay porn actor.
The husband is a gay porn actor, and they switch roles. So
Yeah,
suddenly
and-
you have some guy with lube all over his
Well, the
hands,
whole time for their whole
slipping
relationship.
and sliding, like dropping the heart all over the place.
Well, this is the thing. The whole time the guy was like, "Listen, baby, I love you." The gay porn acting, it's called acting. It's not real. It's a show. I don't actually want to fuck these guys. It's a job. It's called acting. Just like Hollywood.
Tell me this, baby. Do you think that Daniel Day-Lewis is really Abraham Lincoln? No.
And then they swap, and he's like, "Oh, you're fucking all these dudes now." Well, actually, I guess it would be chicks. Either way, though, he'd be like, "Fuck, are you acting?" And she's like, "It's acting."
No, that's regressive thinking right there. It could still his wife could switch jobs with him, and she could go in and have sex with all of those gay men, and it would still be gay porn. That's progress.
Okay, we're onto something here.
Okay, yeah, that's a
it was a
whole rabbit hole that we could go down.
Incredible
right there.
idea. I think that could be a movie like The Purge. Like
How did we go from Snow White to this?
I actually don't remember how it happened, but but The Purge, it's obviously impossible that would ever happen, but it's such a cool idea. You could make a movie called The Switch. It's just like The Purge, and for like 1 week, everyone has to, by law, switch jobs, and it fucks everything up, but the purpose is to make everyone understand everyone else's jobs.
So if you're married, you and your spouse swap jobs. If you're
anyone
if you're in a
that's in a couple.
relationship, you switch jobs with your
Best friends have
your
to do it.
significant other.
Like,
Well, what
and
if-
then if you're a lone
if-
survivor, you have to fill out a form and you get swapped with somebody you don't know.
What if it's like, what if both of the friends are married or have boyfriends or
Yeah,
girlfriends?
it only happens if you don't have a spouse. Like if you're
What if you're in a
Marking
polyamorous
single?
relationship where you've got like 5 people all living in the same house, all pairing off and
get-
fucking each other?
you have to fill out a form, and most likely you just get murdered without anyone knowing.
you get taken to the extermination camps.
That's fucked up. Drink. Okay, just get back to the Snow White fairy tale. So in the original version, she wants to eat her daughter.
Yeah, that's a couple plot points back. Right now, we're talking about the third time that the queen tried to kill Snow White. So the first 2 times, the dwarves were able to save her. So
Right.
I think the first time, the evil queen tricked Snow White into cinching her corset too tight, and it like almost suffocated her or something stupid like that.
What the hell?
I don't remember what the second time was, but it was probably equally stupid. Then the third time was the charm, when the queen tricked Snow into eating a poison apple.
This we all know.
And at that point, in the original story, Snow White was full-blown, stone-cold, dead as a doornail.
Okay.
Not just sleeping or knocked out or whatever she was in the Disney version. Like, she was full-blown dead. So her army of tiny... She was a corpse. She was a former princess. Her army of tiny simp kings thought she was too beautiful to bury, so instead they put her in a glass casket so everyone could get horny over the dead teenager's corpse.
I've seen the music video for what's it called? I Kauf die Sonne by Rammstein.
Did they all get horny over a dead teenager's corpse?
Yes. Have you not seen
No.
the music video for that? They actually, it's like a mockery of the Snow White story. They have a super hot young girl that comes over, and the band are the seven dwarfs, and they're all working in the mines.
I think I watched it once years ago when I was dating a girl that was a huge
it's
Rammstein fan, so she always had the music videos playing.
it's pretty tough. There's like shots of the lead singer who is ripped, like mining. He's like mining. He's holding like a what's that thing called? Like a jackhammer that you like break up concrete with.
A
He's holding
jackhammer?
it. Yeah, is that what it's called? Actually, yeah. So he's
Yeah.
holding that. He's holding that like you would hold a rifle, and just like drilling into a wall with his
What the
huge.
fuck?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a good
After
video
we're
to
done
watch.
recording, I'll go watch the video.
Yeah, watch it. It's short, you know. Their songs are all 3 minutes long. It's a good video though. There's even like a part where like the guitarist is shredding on a mountain, and his guitar is like the size of, like triple the size of him, and he's just shredding on it. It's awesome.
What the fuck? It
Yeah.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a good video. I forget what happens at the end. I think they save her. I don't remember. I guess we're gonna find out right now.
We are about to find out. So one of the people who got horny for this dead teenage girl in the middle of the forest was the aptly named Prince Charming. He told the dwarves that he had fallen in love with Snow White, again, who's dead, a dead teenage girl in a glass casket in the middle of the forest. He fell in love with her somehow. And he wanted to take her home to his castle, which was more befitting of a woman of her beauty. It wasn't because Prince Charming was going to fuck her corpse. No, sir.
Oh, that's right. So she's at the wishing well, and Prince Charming is just like walking by, and they meet for like 1 second, right? Then later the hunter comes and tries to kill her, and it doesn't work. Anyway, I'm just remembering the movie, not the fairy tale. So anyway,
Prince Charming saw a teenage girl by a wishing well for a matter of seconds before watching some adult come up and try to murder her with like an axe or something.
Yeah.
He takes off running, comes back, finds out that she's dead out in the middle of the forest in a glass coffin, and then he wants to go take her body home. What else is he going to do with that body?
That's weird. What is he going to do?
The dwarves agreed, and Prince Charming began hauling the corpse home where he totally wasn't going to fuck it.
He's
but
Prince
along
Charming.
the way, he's Prince Charming. He's
His
such a
literal
nice guy.
name
There's
is
no
Charming.
way that he's going to have sex with this magically preserved corpse.
Yeah, Dopey, Happy, and fucking Doc were just like, you know what? I trust him. Great guy.
Or
guy.
he just paid him the amount of money that they were going to make off of her corpse in their lifetime.
Yeah. I really like this guy, this Prince Charming. He's a great guy.
You know, this
Great
Charming guy, there's something about him. He's very
Give him the
very-
body. Give her the body. Give him the body.
what's the word for it? There's a word for how he is. It starts with the CH. Charismatic. That's what it is.
I don't know what
Prince
it is.
Charming is very charismatic.
Grumpy comes up. He's like, it's called Charming. And I don't have my pudding.
So along the way, Snow White's coffin was jostled by a bump, and the piece of poison apple stuck in her mouth fell out, causing her to come back to life. So
So she just choked on an apple?
she took a bite of an apple and collapsed, and nobody bothered to check and see if it was just blocking her fucking airway.
Yeah, so maybe it wasn't even a poison apple. Maybe she just choked on an apple. I mean, it was a different time. They didn't have medics and they hadn't learned this shit yet, okay?
So Snow White's been out for an indeterminate amount of time. She wakes up and she's in a glass box in the back of a wagon being taken God knows where by some dude that she saw
shit.
right before some other guy tried to murder her. What's
Well,
the
no, it was
first thing
it was
that
an old
she
lady,
does?
right?
What was an old
Wasn't
lady?
the poison apple the last thing that happened?
Yeah, yeah. The poison apple was from the old lady.
And the
An
old
old
lady's the
lady who
queen,
tried to
right?
kill her 2 fucking times before that. But she just kept listening to this old lady.
Yep. Mike
So
Tyson
she
has a
wakes
quote
up
about
and
that.
she wakes up in the back of this wagon in a glass box with some dude who she saw right before she was almost murdered. Very first thing that she does, and which by the way, I'm sure that he explained to her like, "Oh, I can't believe that you're awake. I thought you were dead. I was taking your body home with me to keep in my home, like some non-weirdo." So she marries the fucking guy. And to
Oh,
celebrate their wedding,
where was I? You saved me.
such a
That's
gentleman,
so. You're
you
so
saved me.
charming. You saved me from dying.
So to celebrate their wedding, the prince had Snow White's mother arrested and brought before them. Red-hot iron shoes were fastened to her feet, and she was forced to dance in a fire for the newlyweds until she ultimately died.
Holy
The
shit.
end.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, put that in the Disney version.
Dude, that bitch got what she
Walt Disney,
deserved.
you fucking pussy.
Well, they did. They do kill her at the end.
How do they kill her in the Disney version?
Shit. I'm. They're all getting mixed up in my head. The only version I'm seeing is the ending to Cinderella, and in Cinderella, the evil queen. Oh wait, no, it's Sleeping Beauty. In Sleeping Beauty, the Prince Charming comes and stabs her in the chest with a sword.
Now, see, that's a
But
bit better.
to get away with it, she like mutates into a dragon. So he stabs a dragon in the chest with a sword. But it is the queen.
Well,
I
Ursula
believe.
got it pretty bad in the end of the Little
Yeah.
Mermaid. They
Ursula got stabbed
fucking
through the fucking. Yeah, she got
yeah,
impaled by a pirate ship.
impaled her with an entire fucking ship. That's how much of a badass Prince Eric was.
Yeah, you know what's
Not
crazy?
in
It is
real
kind of
story,
crazy.
he's kind of a shitbag.
Disney thought they were toning it down, but now when you watch old school '80s Disney movies and '90s, you're like, this is pretty fucked up. Like they do kind of show death and they do show some violent shit, but it's
They've
never.
definitely gotten more. I think they peaked in the like 80s and 90s, and
Well, it
then
was their
started
first
getting
round. As
more
soon
and
as
more tame.
yeah, yeah, their first round of movies though, like Cinderella, Snow White. I mean, Dumbo's
Well,
fucked up, dude. They like beat the shit out of
speaking
his
of
mom and
Cinderella,
torture.
well, and Dumbo also has like racial stereotypes that people get all pissed
It's
off
also
about
racist, and also there's drugs, drinking, partying,
and that's like one of the
hookers.
least racist things that Disney was involved with back in that era.
We
Well,
should do an
speaking of
episode
Cinderella,
on that. Okay,
Cinderella's up next.
all right.
Have you
Cinderella.
ever
Oh, that's the glass slipper one. Okay. God, I have,
have
them all
you
mixed
ever
up.
what's the name of that story? There was a story that I read when I was in school, The Princess and the Pea. Have you ever heard of The Princess and the Pea?
Yes. It's got. She
So-
has the. It's the pea under the bed or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Some guy wants to find out if she's a princess, so he comes and pees under her bed. And if she notices the smell in her sleep, then she's truly a princess. But if she sleeps through it, she's just another crack whore. Now, the reason I bring it up is because she never would have known that she was sleeping on a pea if she was sleeping on a ghost bed. Speaking of ghost beds, I'm literally laying on a ghost bed right now. If I sound
Are you recording this on a ghost
sedated,
bed?
I am laying in my ghost bed right now. I've got it out. I've got the top elevated because I've got the adjustable base. So I've got that elevated, and I'm sitting up, and I got my laptop in my lap, and It's
You
all nice
son of
and
a
cozy.
bitch. I'm still at work.
Well, technically, I'm working right now, too.
From a ghost bed. I'm jealous.
Every mattress has a 20-year warranty. Some even have 25, and you can try it out for 101 nights, which is more than enough time to realize that these are the best goddamn mattresses ever made. One of our favorite things about Ghost Bed is that each mattress has cooling technology in it. So if you live in the South like we do, where it gets nice and hot, or if you have a lot of hot bodies in your bed, these things are a lifesaver. Right now, Ghost Bed is offering 40% off Ghost Bed bundles where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or get 30% off your entire order when you use the promo code DrinkinBros at ghostbed.com/DrinkinBros.
Yeah.
You can buy a mattress for around $35 per month, and they have no money down, 0% financing plans for up to 60 months. Go check it out at ghostbed.com/DrinkinBros. Ghost Bed. Sleep so good, it's scary. And our other sponsor for this episode is Simply Safe. Is there anything more precious than the safety of you and your loved ones? Well, of course not. So isn't it strange that not all home security companies truly put you first?
Yeah.
Old school home security companies set you up with outdated technology, overcharge you for service, and lock you into binding multi-year contracts. That's why we here at the Iconoblast podcast use Simply Safe Home Security.
Yeah.
Simply Safe protects you with cutting-edge security technology powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/icon.
Yeah.
Go today and claim a free indoor security system plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. Go to simplysafe.com/icon. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Do it now.
You know, if these princesses had Simply Safe, they probably wouldn't get in all the trouble that they keep getting themselves into.
That's right. If Snow White had Simply Safe on her fucking glass jar she was stuck in, she wouldn't have had to marry Prince Charming. She could have died in fucking peace. She could have died in peace.
If Snow White would have had Simply Safe on the glass jar she was stuck in,
She could have died in peace. Yeah, you heard it here first.
she could have died in peace. You heard it here first. So the first major difference between the Disney version of Cinderella and the version written by Brothers Grimm is the material of the slipper. While Disney had the abused housemaid wearing hard glass stilettos, the Brothers Grimm had her clomping around in much more sensible pumps made out of solid gold.
The Brothers Grimm.
Yep.
Wasn't that just
Yeah.
the name of the show I was talking about?
It might have been.
Doesn't matter. Continue.
At the stroke of midnight, Cinderella flees the hottest party in the kingdom before the prince finds out that she's not, in fact, a gorgeous princess who has flawless skin and the body of a supermodel. She's actually the gorgeous daughter of a wealthy family who has the flawless skin and the body of a supermodel. Ew! That's yucky. There's no way he's going to date some stepdaughter. As it is in the Disney version, the prince travels far and wide to find the woman who was crazy enough to wear shoes made out of solid gold and or glass. And this is where the Brothers Grimm version takes a slightly darker approach. When the prince has Cinderella's first sister try on the slipper, it doesn't fit because her toes are too long. Her mother fixes that by cutting off her fucking toes and sending her on the date with the prince. She tells her daughter something along the lines of, if you become the queen, you're not going to need to walk anywhere.
If what?
If you marry the prince and become queen, you're not going to need to walk anywhere. So why would you need your toes? Just cut the fucking things off and trick the prince into loving you.
Holy shit. So they fit, so that way it fits in the fucking shoe.
Yep, and the prince takes her out on a date because he's apparently... He must have been so fucking drunk that night if he can look at every woman in the kingdom and be like, okay, fuck. I don't know if it was you, but if your foot fits in this shoe, I'll just say it was you.
That sounds, I mean, that makes total sense to a drunk.
Yeah, it's just some...
I mean, I could see myself doing that, like, literally if I... Yeah, it makes sense to me.
You go to every single noble family in your entire kingdom, which who knows how big this fucking kingdom is. That could have been like thousands upon thousands of women.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
all
this
he
was
was
the
looking
first
for was
fucking-
a one who could fit their foot in the fucking shoe.
This is the first fucking what's it called? It's on Craigslist. It's like miscommunication or whatever it's called.
Missed connections.
Yeah. This is the very first one. Misconnections.
I blacked out and lost track of you at my birthday party, but I found your shoe.
But I
Could
found
you-
your shoe.
Can you come put your shoe on?
Yeah. But luckily for him, he was a fucking prince. So he had the power to make everybody do it.
Dude, I never even thought about that. Like he's the leader of this kingdom, or he's the heir to become the next king. So he's using the force of the local government to force people to wear shoes, to
Yeah.
try on some random. Do you know how gross
Dude,
that
that's-
fucking that slipper would be after being
Yeah.
on that many dirty peasant feet?
Dude, even in the movie, I remember it. They're like, "Oh fuck, it's the prince. He's coming. We have to put our foot in the shoe. Dress nice and act right." I mean, the girls were all like, "Oh my god, maybe we can fuck him." So they were excited, but at the same time, if they didn't do it, they'd probably get their heads chopped off.
You're not going to say no to the prince. That's a fucking monarchy. He was
It's
put
illegal.
there by God.
Cinderella.
So yeah, you either put on this filthy shoe
men
hundreds
have
and
to, too? It
hundreds
was
of
just
years
women.
before anybody invented Lysol.
Yeah, their feet were all gross already by then anyway.
Oh, and dude, how many other people chopped off parts of their feet to try and jam them into that fucking
Oh yeah, like how many
slipper?
people realized? Oh, if the prince is a fucking drunk. He doesn't remember
The
who it
prince
was.
is a fucking idiot.
How do we find out? We got to find out that shoe size.
Well, thankfully for the prince, Cinderella's dead mom had his back in the original version. So while the prince is out on a date with the first sister, two doves sent by Cinderella's dead mother fly down to the prince and snitch on the sister by pointing out the blood pouring out of the glass shoe, or the golden shoes. So this guy's not even noticing. She just had her fucking toes cut off. He's not noticing
shit-faced,
the
dude.
bloody footprints. Like this guy's, he's not even a functional alcoholic. He's like a leaving Las Vegas alcoholic.
Yeah, he's not. Well, he's not looking any lower than the vagina. it's as high as the tits, as low as the vag, and he's plastered.
Yeah, he's not even. So this is a real. It's not like he has a foot fetish or anything. This is a real challenge for him because he doesn't even bother looking down at the feet. He's just looking at the good bits.
Yeah, he's just trying to find his true love.
Well, after finding out that the first sister chopped off her fucking toes to get her foot into the golden slipper, the prince decided to give sister number 2 a chance anyway. Cinderella's second sister tries on the shoes next. Of course, the shoes don't fit, this time due to the fat heels of the pampered socialite. The evil stepmom knows exactly how to fix the problem and starts sawing through her daughter's cankles like they were Christmas ham. Same as before, the prince takes the second sister out for a date, walking around in his fancy garden. Two birds fly down and bring the prince's attention to the trail of blood being left behind the young lady. The prince took the golden shoes back and sent her walking home barefoot, because he's another Prince Charming. The last mutilation suffered by the stepsisters is at the wedding of Cinderella and the prince. If having your feet mutilated by your psychotic mother and then watching your perfect sister marry a prince wasn't bad enough, those fucking doves came back and pecked their eyes out. The end.
So wait, you're feeling bad for the shitty stepsisters? Well,
In
in the
the way
Disney
that
movie,
it's-
they're stepsisters, I think.
Yeah, in the original story, they're stepsisters also.
She's like
I was just
Cinderella's
getting
like
that
their
mixed up.
slave.
Yeah, they treat her like shit because they're jealous of her good looks and her charm.
They pick her.
No,
their
I'm not
eyes
saying
out.
I
After
don't-
they
I
cut
don't
their legs
feel-
off, they peck their eyes out too. That's because they're selfish
I-
pieces of shit.
I don't feel bad for the stepsisters, honestly. I just think as I was writing it out, I was thinking like, wait, these girls might also, like, they're just as much a victim of their mother as Cinderella is, because their mother is this absolute psychopath who's willing to mutilate them to trick the prince into marrying them.
Okay, that's
And
a
they've
good
been
point.
raised their whole life by this lunatic. Of course, they're going to turn out to be fucking lunatics. And they both know that they're ugly and they're not charming, and they would have to lie to get the prince. Whereas Cinderella, she just has to be Cinderella, and she's going to get the prince. They're willing to, like, literally let their mother mutilate their feet to try and get with this guy. And all Cinderella has to do is just be Cinderella, and she gets the prince. So they're going to be a little upset at her, but fuck them anyway, because that's how the dice fall sometimes.
No, I would have to agree with you. I think that the stepsisters were also a victim of a crazy mom.
Doesn't
So
excuse their actions, but I
I
pity
mean,
them after the fact for what they could have been.
they got what they deserved, but I do feel bad for them, but they had it coming. It's like if somebody is trained from birth to be a piece of shit cunt murderer and they kill someone and they get killed for it, I feel bad for them because they were trained to do it since birth. So you feel bad for them, but they had it coming. That's the law of the
Yeah,
land.
but they also had it coming. That's the code of the Wild West.
Yep. God damn, I had not heard that at all. I had heard a little bit of the true story, the original story of Snow White, but that's some fucked up shit. They're cutting their feet off to try to be with a rich guy because they're
Oh,
poor.
you want to know something that's even crazier? Snow White, based on a true story. Based on an honest to God true story. I shit you not. I don't remember all
Yeah,
the
that makes
exact
sense.
details, but it's based
Dwarves did
on
used to exist.
Spanish royalty. They used to exist before they all died out after the Great Dwarf Famine. No, it was in Spain. It was about the original Snow White story is based off of Spanish royalty, where a girl was disliked by. It's essentially the same story. You just have to take away any of the magical aspects and
Yeah,
change the dwarves into stunted, malnourished children that are being used for slave labor.
makes sense.
That might have to
Fuck.
be an episode in and of itself, is going into the details behind the true story
The
of
true
Snow
story
White.
of it. Yeah, the fuck. Well,
We'll
dude,
do that one
something
soon,
else
because
that's just to back up my dwarf thing. There is actual evidence of humans and races of humans that existed long ago that were tiny, and
they're called
they just couldn't
Homo
make it.
florensis, I think. Homo
Yeah, so
florensis, the hobbits.
they just yeah they just didn't make it. You know?
And I think they lived on an island with a race of, like, pygmy elephants, like tiny little elephants too. So they'd be like tiny little people
Tiny little
cruising
elephants.
around hunting tiny little elephants. Sounds fucking adorable. Well, next up is the one that you've all been waiting for. The one that gets Joel all nice and chubbed out. It
Well, we'll
is
see after this.
The Little Mermaid. Hans
Aw.
Christian Andersen must have been going through a dark period in his life when he wrote The Little Mermaid. The Disney version follows the plot of the original pretty faithfully right up until Ursula cuts Ariel's tongue out of her fucking mouth in exchange for legs.
Oh shit.
Hans Christian Andersen's deal between the Sea Witch and Ariel has higher stakes than the Disney version, to say the least. Ursula agrees to give Ariel legs, but in return, she has to give the witch her tongue. So Ursula goes full Reservoir Dogs and slices out Ariel's tongue.
What does she want the tongue for, though?
Because Ursula's kind of a bitch. You
She just
remember her
wants
from the
it.
movie? Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
I
Well, in
mean,
the
I'm not even really gonna do anything with it. I just kind of,
I just want to
I
carry
just,
it. I want to
I
put it
just,
with my collection of tongues.
I just want to be a little stinker. Just want
Because
to Be a little goof.
In the movie, right, she keeps it in her necklace, and then like she can like listen to Ariel's. Ah, ah,
In the
whenever she
movie, it's not her tongue. She takes her voice. She
her
doesn't
voice,
actually just
and
cut her fucking tongue out.
but she wears her voice in a shell on
Yeah.
around her neck and can like play it. Probably masturbate.
Yeah, she
to
can
it.
also use Ariel's voice. Like she can sing with Ariel's voice and talk with Ariel's voice and shit.
That's pretty cool.
That's how she gets Eric. She sings to him, and Eric recognizes her voice.
Oh, because she turns into a princess too? I don't remember.
In the Disney version, she does. In the original version, Ursula doesn't turn herself into a princess. So Ursula,
Poor unfortunate souls. It's sad, but
very
true.
poor unfortunate souls,
This one's wanting
because
to be
Ursula
thinner. This one wants
cuts
to get the
Ariel's
girl, and I
fucking
helped
tongue
them.
out.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, I do.
She was hot. I'd bang Ursula.
Ursula, oh,
She had fucking huge knocks, dude.
where's
She had huge
Ursula's
knocks.
vagina? Because she's got the mouth. Where's Ursula's vagina? She's an octopus.
Between all those legs.
Yeah,
And
you know
there's
what's
there's a
normally
beak
there
on
on
it,
an
yeah.
octopus? A fucking beak.
Yeah, that's a dangerous vagina, man. You got to be a man to fuck that. That's gangster, dude.
Yeah, that would be gangster as fuck.
You would need like
So-
a coral cock or something. You need like
You would need a titanium
a
condom,
carapace. Yeah, you need a carapace on that thing.
a Kevlar condom. So Ariel got the legs she wished for, but if she wanted to keep them and get her tongue back, she had to get Prince Eric to fall in love with her.
Without her tongue.
Without her tongue, without being able to talk to him. I think in the book,
Dude, they're also
she's
physically
still
violent.
able to make noise. She just doesn't have a tongue. So if she goes up and
Yeah,
this
yo,
guy's
yeah,
a
yo,
prince. He
yeah,
could have-
yo. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have any woman in the kingdom, and if she walks up and starts talking like she's, been kicked in the head as a kid or something like that, then he's not.
That's a
He's going
polite
to go
way of
somewhere else.
saying that. Yeah. That's like. Do you remember? Do you remember in End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger? There's the priest, and he yells at Arnold, and he's like, 1,000. Well, it's not Arnold yelling. I almost did the priest is like 1,000 years has ended, ah! And then Arnold
In your mind, every
lights him up.
character. In your mind,
Yeah,
every
in my mind
character
it goes
every Arnold movie
1,000
sounds
years
like
has
Arnold.
ended. Yeah. But Arnold lights him up, right? Because the priest has a gun, and then the cops are all there, and it's Marge. Jesus, Marge, what the fuck? It's Marge. Marge is there, and Marge is like, "Hey, what did you say?" He said, and he was like, "I don't know. It was something like 1,000 years has ended or something." And she was like, "Have you been drinking today?" And he was like, Come on, don't bullshit me." And she was like, "He doesn't have a tongue," and the priest cut out his tongue. But when Arnold listened to him, he could talk. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Anyway, so the comparison is there's a priest in End of Days that got his tongue cut out, and also the Little Mermaid has their tongue cut out. That's the only reason why I brought that up. Let's get back to the story.
That was the tenuous connection for that segue.
And for some
was
reason,
for
when
that
I was
tangent?
I was imagining Ursula. Well, it was the beak vagina, and then it went back to the tongue, and then an image popped in my head, and it was a tongue in a jar, and then I realized it was from End of Days because they find the priest's tongue in his own refrigerator. In the
Isn't
movie.
there a guy with his tongue cut out in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner?
No. He has his
Are you
eyes cut
sure?
out because he can still talk.
I thought there was a guy that had his tongue cut out also. Maybe I'm thinking of another
Maybe.
movie.
Maybe. In Prince of Thieves, I know that his boy had his eyes cut out, and because he was like, "Why didn't you save my dad?" And he
Because
was
I
like,
thought that
because I
I
couldn't
thought
see.
we were just going to find a connection between an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Ariel and Mermaids, and
And Robin Hood,
Maid Marian.
Maid Marian. Oh my God, That'd be awesome.
That's the Joel trifecta right there.
Yeah, my 3 favorite things in the world.
My 3 favorite fucking things in the world are Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Maid Marian from Robin Hood, and The Little Mermaid.
Well, no, it's the Maid Marian in
And Little
Robin Hood is
Mermaid
hot,
pussy.
and that no, well, I don't think the Little Mermaid's hot. I think that mermaids are hot. Let's make that clear.
At least until Ariel, it's another 2 or 3 years older. You're a Gru mermaid. Groomer mermaid?
Even when I was a kid, I was like, I would titty fuck Ursula, and the Little Mermaid is like my sister. Like I love her. I love the Little Mermaid, and she needs to be saved. And I really want to see Ursula's tits. Like that was my my thought process.
I'm gonna go out there.
I'm
gonna save the Little Mermaid, and I'm gonna look at Ursula's tits.
Yeah, and as I grew up, I realized that vaginas are also awesome, and maybe mermaids have vaginas.
And then you wanted to see Ursula's vagina with the beak on
No,
it?
I never thought about that till today, but it would have a beak. And do octopi?
I'm assuming it must, and that also implies that she can. That also implies that runs into her digestive tract also.
Yeah, so she has a cloaca with a beak.
She has something more.
I was wondering if she had a butthole because she's got a big old butt in the movie. One thing for sure, Disney has never stopped is giving those mamas dump trucks.
Those big old fucking dump truck asses, yeah.
Yeah. Still to this day. That the what's it called? The Invincibles?
Incredibles.
Mama's got a big old butt in that. Whatever it's called.
The Incredibles, Mrs. Incredible.
The Incredibles, yeah. She got a big old butt. Mommy.
Well, Ariel didn't get a big old dump truck ass, but she got the wigs that she wished for, but if she wanted to keep them, she had to get Prince Eric to fall in love with her. Until she did that, she wouldn't be able to speak. And also, every step she took felt like she was walking on razor blades. Probably should have read the fine print in that contract before signing it with that magical glowing quill.
Yeah.
Worst of all, if the prince fell in love with someone else, Ariel would die and turn into sea foam.
Fuck.
So, in the movie, Ursula tricks the prince into marrying her in the Disney version. But Prince Eric gets horny over another girl he mistakes for Ariel in the original version too, but unlike the Disney version, the prince just goes with it, falls in love with the new woman, and lives happily ever after.
That's not shit!
It's not
really?
Quite the end, though. Yeah, the other woman, he just sticks with her and marries her and lives happily ever after.
You know what? I'm not really sure, but she's cool.
It's like that other chick's down. Cool, but the one
that's real life, baby. That's real life.
The one that I remember when I was waking up out of that coma after that shipwreck could sing, and this girl can't talk. Looks exactly like her, but she can't talk. That's so weird. I guess I'm just going to fuck this other chick.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore the fact that her tongue's been cut out. And I'm going to fuck this other chick.
Yeah. After being snubbed by the prince, Ariel knows her days are numbered. Ariel's sisters, however, are unwilling to let her succumb to the curse, so they visit Ursula and trade their hair for a way to save Ariel and get her fins back. Ursula gives them an item that will indeed break the curse. Ariel's sisters approach her with the witch's gift. It is a magical dagger that will return her body to its original form. All she has to do is use the dagger to murder Prince Eric and then let the blood drip from the dagger onto her legs. And that would return her legs to fins.
That's her gangster.
Love, right?
This is true. This is actual fairy tales that actually tell you the truth about the world.
It's a curse that the witch put on Ariel, and she's saying, "Oh, the only way to break the curse is you either have to get Eric to fall in love with you, and that'll keep you a human. You'll have your human legs, but you'll get your voice back, and you won't feel
But
like you're
Coop,
walking on razor blades."
was it a curse or was it a lesson? Oh, you want to live in a fantasy world? Okay, have fun. Give me your tongue. Oh, okay, your fantasy world didn't work. Now you got to do something really fucked up so you learn your fucking lesson and you don't fucking live in a fantasy world anymore. You're a fish.
Oh, you want to achieve all your dreams? Well, you can only talk if I allow you to talk. And
Yeah.
that means you're
You
only
want
going to
to
be able to
you
say
want
the
to
things I
you want to
allow you
complete
to
all
say.
your fucking dreams? You want to complete all your dreams? Make your dream being a plumber. That's the lesson of the fucking story. You don't get to have a prince. You're a fish. Grow the
Well, the
fuck up.
story's not over yet.
Oh shit.
Her
There's
love
more?
for Prince Eric is too strong, and Ariel refuses to kill him. The witch's curse remains unbroken. Her last moments are filled with silent sobs and excruciating pain before she ultimately dies, dissolving into sea foam floating on the surf. The end.
Dude, that just
That's
continues the truth. If you can't get what you want and you're not happy with what you have, kill yourself. This is the greatest fairy tale ever.
don't take shortcuts. Don't try to get anything above your class. Know your role, stay in your lane. And if
Do the
life is
work.
going to shit, just
Kill yourself.
fucking let yourself die.
Yeah. That's amazing. I would like to read
Chase chase after
verbatim the original.
toxic people that don't want you until it kills you. The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
The original
That's a
version
great.
of The Little Mermaid.
That's a fucking really good story. I want to read the original. We should do that as a bonus episode where you just read the original fairy tales verbatim that we talked about tonight. That'd be a great bonus episode.
That's also just a tiny selection out of all the fairy tales that I've been reading about recently. That's 3 of them out of like all of the popular fairy tales.
Yeah.
Every single Disney movie, you can find the original story, and the original story has something fucked up about it.
Fucked up. But that's a way better lesson you would learn as a kid. It's a little violent.
Because
But-
back then they were actually trying to teach lessons with them. I
Well, they
think.
didn't have the power of visuals either, so the words had to be impactful. Because it was just someone had to read it, right? They're not even old enough to read. So it
Kids
was
back
just like
then could also handle an unhappy ending too, because the majority of their lives would end unhappily.
That's dope. I really want to read
You
the
see,
original
look there,
stories
little
now.
Timmy. Even these magical people and these fairy tales have horrible lives that end in suffering. Good night.
See, if it was me and I was a Little Mermaid and I got that dagger, and I was like, fuck, it didn't happen the way I wanted, I would stab him and myself, and maybe a couple other people before I went down. Definitely stab the babe that took my man.
You would just go on a stabbing spree, be like, oh, that didn't work out. I'm just going to see how many people I can take down with me. I'm not even going to try to get my
Yeah.
fins back.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go out with a blaze of glory. They'll make a fairy tale about it. Or, how do you know how fucking good Ursula is at her spells? I would stab someone just to see if I got my fucking fins back. If I just stabbed anyone, how does she know how to cast the perfect spell? She might
Stab
be like,
somebody else, turns you into a fucking centaur.
she's obviously really talented, but maybe it's not quite good enough to, maybe she kind of lied a little. She's like, okay, well, I can make the spell. She can stab anybody with this knife, but I'm not going to tell her that because I don't have the right. Maybe her stock of potions and shit were in it. She couldn't do the spell exact. You don't know. But she ain't going to tell Ariel, like, oh, you have to stab the prince because that's fucked up to make her do. But the spell actually might have limitations that you don't know. So you should stab innocent people and see what happens. Or what if you stab her with the dagger? Does that make Prince Philip get fins?
Billop.
or
Who the
whatever
fuck is
Oh
who the
wait,
fuck is Billop?
Philip, Prince Charming, whatever the fuck his name is. Isn't his name Philip in
Prince
the Little
Charming?
Mermaid? No,
No,
in the
Prince
Little Mermaid.
Eric.
Eric, that's what it is. Eric's tougher than Philip.
Like Eric the Red.
Eric was so fucking
Dude.
tough when he like jumped in underwater and he couldn't even breathe, and he still threw a spear at her. Remember? And he cut Ursula's arm.
Oh yeah, he was a badass.
That was a way better. I like the Disney version better, except I wish that they still cut her tongue out. That would have been rad.
And if it was still like she was walking around on razor blades all the time, so she was constantly in pain, but couldn't like explain why she was constantly in pain.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Just yeah, Eric should have just put her in a wheelbarrow.
Holy shit, you know what? What the fuck? Something else I just realized. So remember the deal is you have to get Eric to fall in love with you before the sun sets on the third day,
Yeah.
or else you die. But if Eric falls in love with someone else, you die. That means Eric met and fell in love with that other chick within 3 fucking days in the book. Within
she
3
dies because he
days.
fell in love?
Yeah, he fell in love with the other chick. So within 3 days, he met Ariel, hangs out with her for a bit, meets this other chick,
Boom,
instantly
fell in
falls in love with her and marries her, and Ariel dies the next day.
But because he thought it was her, right?
That's true. So that other chick was a lion ass bitch. So, oh yeah, I'm the lady that pulled you out of the water.
She had to
and
have
sang
lied.
to you.
Yeah.
She must have.
I just don't sing anymore.
We'll read the original version on the show from start to finish at some point, and we'll all find out.
We should.
together.
Are they long? Are the originals long?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. I mean, we could cover
That'd be a
most of
great
them
follow-up
within
bonus
an
if we
hour.
read the if a follow-up bonus episode, if you have the time, would be to read the 3 fucking original fairy tales that we talked about tonight. That'd be dope.
I'll find some PDFs, and next time I go,
I mean,
over to
I
the
don't even
studio,
have to.
we'll sit down
I don't
and
even have to
record
be
them.
there. We could do it just like this, or you could just
Oh,
do it on
yeah,
your own. But like
or we
this
could
would
do
be
it like
fun
that too.
Yeah. All right, let's get the fuck out of here, Coop.
All right,
wanna go
man.
home.
That sounds good. That's it for this episode of the Iconoblast podcast. At this point, since I'm laying here in bed and I'm talking to you on the phone but recording on the Zoom,
Yeah.
this feels more like a phone call. So I'm just kind of like kicking back and we're just talking on the phone for a while. Anyway, that's it for this episode of the Iconoblast podcast.
Dude,
Join
that's
us
how we.
once
That's why we
again
started
next
this.
week. True.
We used to.
True.
That's before we had the show. We would, our gay asses would fucking call each other and end up on the phone for 2 hours talking about nothing because
I was living up in Northern California, and you were in Southern California. 350 miles between us.
Just talking, fantasizing about making video games, which we made. And when we make a Patreon, we should put our games that we made up there so that people can play them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could put Mighty Maniacs up there because I don't think that we have any legal restrictions from putting that on a Patreon.
Rokam wouldn't care anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he would care.
I think you can just go and play that game for free somewhere. I don't know the website, but Rokam's the guy that did our theme song, and we also made a game for him.
I know that I've still got it on my computer somewhere. I've got the shippable version. So maybe we can do a little giveaway, and I'll email copies of it to people that, I don't know, win a contest.
We got to do a Patreon, and it'll be on there for free.
Well, we got to give some of them away to build up hype, and then put it on Patreon.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll give it to Ray or Ruben, or maybe Scotty. Scotty's earned it.
Yeah, I think
actually
Scotty's
everybody in the
definitely
chat
earned
should get
at
it
this
for
point.
free if they play games.
See, that's the way I would feel. I'd say we just give it to
Yeah.
everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, join us again next week. You can follow us on Instagram at Iconoblast Podcast. You can follow me at Coop Nukem. You can follow Joel at Joel R. Benner. You can also watch us on YouTube, the Iconoblast Podcast YouTube channel. Every
Yeah.
Monday
Well,
at
even
9 p.m.
this show will
Central
be on there.
Standard Time, we've got a YouTube premiere, and Joel and I hang out in the live chat and talk to all you nice ladies and gentlemen out there in the world that give a shit about our show for some reason, but we appreciate you
Yeah.
coming back every single week.
It's fun. It's like AOL chats from back in the day for me. I'm old, but I like the chats a lot. It can be a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people in there. It's one of my favorite things on Monday. It's my favorite one of my favorite weekly things we get to do. Just hang out with all the
It's
with all
turned
the boys.
into, yeah, it's a weekly hangout with a bunch of friends, and new people are always showing up, and
we've met a good handful of them now, 4 or 5 of them. No,
yeah,
6
which
or
is
7 of
which
them,
is
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. All right, and also
All right,
if you want our merch and shit, you go to shop.drinkingbros.com and then hit that search button and just type in Iconoblast and all our merch shows up.
Oh,
And we
yep,
got some
definitely
dope ass shit.
don't want to forget the merch, and we've got a handful of people out there that have already gotten their merch that they ordered, and they're sending us pictures, and it looks fucking dope.
Yeah, I've made a point to ask each person, like, does it fit well? Is it comfortable? Like, because I want to make sure they actually fit, and feel good. And everyone said, like, dude, the one thing about the Drinking Bros and the network we're a part of is the quality of their clothes and their merch is good. So we got that same quality on our shit. So
I've got some of the t-shirts, and they're super comfortable, and I've heard from people that have gotten the hoodies and sweatshirts, and they all say that they're incredibly comfortable.
oh, I still haven't got my hoodie. I've got an Aquatic Cloaca hoodie that's owed to me by the network. I still haven't got it. But yeah, I've heard from multiple people that the fucking hoodies are super soft. So even if you don't even care about the logo, just get the hoodie because it's fucking soft.
Yeah, I think I'm still supposed to be getting either a tank top or a hoodie. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I got that list. We just
All right. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that more after the show. But for now, my name is Matt Cooper,
I'm Joel Benner.
and we're reminding you to never take anything at face value. Peace.
Holy Coop, have you ever would you? Mermaids are already hot, and if they have a vagina, that's hotter because you can fuck them. But what about a mermaid without a tongue? Never mind.
Wait, that
Fucking a mouth without a
No.
tongue. Wait, that makes it less hot.
yeah, that would make it
Okay,
worse. Then it's
never
just
mind.
it's
All
like
right.
all teeth.
Yeah. Unless you go deep throat. So, all right, bye.